Megillah starts off with an interesting pasuk. בימי אחשוורוש הוא אחשוורוש. מאוד הוא המולך, מאוד הוא התקושבן. What does it mean, הוא אחשוורוש? Rashi tells us, right away in the beginning, Rashi tells us, הוא אחשוורוש, Rashi says, הוא ברשעתו, מתחילתו ועד סופו. It's the same wicked אחשוורוש from beginning till end. And when I read the Megillah, I didn't see that he was so wicked at the end. In the beginning, yes, he wanted to exterminate the Jews, he wanted to kill the Jews, he harassed the Jews, all kind of things. But as you read the Megillah, it turns around. Achashverosh becomes very nice to the Jews. He lets them kill the enemies, he lets them defend themselves, he gives them what they want, he gives them Mordechai Bet Haman, and so on and so forth. So if you ask me, he was in Berishato in beginning, but not in the end. In the end, it was pretty good. And also, Berishato, same Rasha, same exact Rasha from beginning till end. Who Berishato, which means, even if you want to say he stayed Rasha in the end, but what do you mean Berishato, which means the same wickedness? How could that be? He wasn't the same wicked person from beginning till end. So, I thought about two things. First of all, I heard very nice chat from Rav Shlomo Bravda. Very nice. Very cute. He says like this, the Megillah ends, we started with the Megillah, now how it ends. The Megillah ends with a pasuk that says that that Achashverosh placed mas al kol iye hayam, vayasem mas al kol iye hayam. Who cares? What does it have to do with the Megillah? What does it have to do with the miracle of the Megillah? What does the Megillah comes to tell me with that point that he put a mas, he put a tax on all the countries? Who cares that he put taxes on the countries? That's so irrelevant to the story of the Megillah. So he says beautiful. When Achashverosh married Esther, so he gave a break, the Megillah says, to all the countries, no tax. Why? In honor of Esther. In order for Esther to reveal who she comes from, which nation she comes from. He wanted to appease Esther by honoring her that he'll give a break to all the people in the world. No tax. Tax free. Black Friday. Everybody gets off from taxes. Why? In honor of Esther, that she should reveal which nation she comes from. Eventually, Esther tells him where she comes from. But she tells him where she comes from not because of the tax break, because she saw that the events are such that she needs to save her nation, so she reveals where she's from. And Achashverosh realizes that he made a bad business deal. What does it mean? He realizes that he gave a break to everybody, and he didn't get what he paid for. He was expected to get from Esther a certain turn back, that she should reveal what nation she's from, and she tells him not related to the fact that he gave the break. So therefore, his whole break was meaningless. So therefore, in the end of the Megillah comes to say that he put taxes back on all these countries in order to get his money back. Whatever he lost, now he wants to get back. So what's the point? The point that the Megillah ends like that, why is it relevant? To tell us that some people, as the rabbi spoke over here, some people can read the Megillah and see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Megillah. There's no way you can't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Megillah. When you read the Megillat Esther, every sentence, every pasuk, everything is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You see it right away. It's revealed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not hidden in the Megillah. It's right there. You read the Megillah and you see, how could that be? You take a look at the world today. The whole entire world is against Am Yisrael. Everybody wants to kill Am Yisrael with passion. Million Arabs, and together with all the European countries, and now even America is joining, and all over the world, and China, and Russia, and whatever. Everybody's against one small nation, and that small nation, for some reason, survives. It's Kivsa ben Shivim Ze'evim. Who doesn't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a thing? Who doesn't see? You have to be blind not to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know who doesn't see? You only see HaKadosh Baruch Hu if you're not blinded by money. But if what you have in your mind is te'avot, money, or other kind of te'avot, desires, So then you don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then you read the Megillah from beginning till the end. You live through the Megillah from beginning till the end, and you don't. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't appear in the Megillah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu screams in the Megillah, I'm here, I'm doing this, everything, and you don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because you're after the money. In the beginning, you give break for the taxes, and all you had in your mind is now, I lost money. I lost. Some people, all they have in their mind, I lost on a business deal. They can't sleep at night. I lost a business deal. And therefore, they don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they don't see their family, they don't see their children, and they don't see their yeshivot, and they don't see the Torah. They don't see nothing. Why? Because they lost the business deal. They could have made money. So when they could make the money, that's all they want. They're running and they're chasing after. That was Achashverosh. That is the point. The point is that from beginning till the end, either you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he screams to you, I'm here, or you don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu at all, and that was Achashverosh. The second thing you can say about the question we asked, why is it that hu berishato mitchilato ve'ad sofo? Because Achashverosh was all about interests. In the beginning, he had an interest that Haman told him, Lo shaveh, it's not worth for you. There's an Am Echad, Meforaz U'Meforad Ben Amim. There's a nation that's no good for your kingdom. You get rid of him. Achashverosh is convinced it's no good for me. He's ready to get rid of him. But in the end, when things turn around, and Esther that was speaking to Achashverosh and convincing him, he knew that now his wife is on the line. So now he changed his agenda. He needs to appease his wife. So he's good for the Jews. But he didn't do it because he's a nice person. He didn't do it because he was somebody that became good all of a sudden. Right? It was all agenda. In the beginning he had this political agenda. Then he had this, a family agenda. Family dynamics change things. He was interested in Esther very much. So he needs to get rid of Haman and appease Esther. It changes according to the wind. Where the wind blows, that's the way he goes. That's Achashverosh mitchilato ve'ad sofo berishato. And that comes to teach us something very interesting. If you take a look at the story of the Megillah, it's equivalent to what happens today events. And Dorshei Reshumot say something interesting. It says in the Megillah, in the Mishnah, in the Megillah it says, הקורא את המגילה למפרע לא יצא ידי חובתו. If you read the Megillah backwards, you skip a line in the Megillah and then you go back and you don't read it from there on throughout the whole Megillah, you're not fulfilling your obligation. You have to read the Megillah one pasuk by the other, the way it's ordered. The Dorshei Reshumot say that what does it mean? הקורא את המגילה למפרע לא יצא ידי חובתו. Somebody who reads the Megillah backwards, thinking that story happened by ימים ההם בזמן הזה, he didn't understand the whole story of the Megillah. The story of Megillah is every generation, בכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. There's nothing else that saves us. And you take a look, the story is equivalent. Just like back then, there was Haman הרשע, today also Haman הרשע. אם לא עושים תשובה, חז"ל tell us, הקדוש ברוך הוא מעמיד עליהם מלך רשע כהמן. And then they do teshuvah. And that same nation is the same nation. Paras, it's Iran, with the same head of the octopus that has all the hands throughout the world, and it's the same Iran that's sitting still in one place and has the hands throughout the Middle East and throughout the world. And I heard very nicely from Eliyahu Yosian. He says that if you take a look, if you want to know who's the king, take a look at the game of chess. The game of chess is such that the king always moves the least. In chess, you play chess. All the gamers over there, they'll keep on going back and forth and right to the left. Who moves the least? That's the king. If you take a look today, all the world is active. The Houthis and the Iraqis and the Arabs in the Middle East, throughout everywhere, except one nation that doesn't do anything. That is Iran, and that's the same Achashverosh. He would sit and he would say to all the nations in the world, 127 nations in the world, you go and you wipe out the Jews. In how long? One day. That was exactly the plan of Iran, to wipe out the Jews in one day. By the way, Hamas ruined it for them. They spoiled it for them. They were supposed to do it in one day. All the Arabs in one day throw rockets and start bombing Israel and conquering. That was the plan. That is the same Haman HaRasha. But by the way, back then there was a big woman. Her name was Esther. Esther was hesitant. Should I go to save the Jews? Should I not go to save the Jews? Mordechai told her, be careful. מי יודע אם לעת הזאת הגעת למלכות. Maybe you came to become the head of the pyramid just because of what you are right now facing to save the Jews. And if you don't, את ובית אביך יאבדו. You'll be lost forever. And רווח והצלה יבוא ליהודים ממקום אחר. Today also, if you take a look, who's in the head of the pyramid? Who's in the head of the pyramid? It's all Jews. It's all Jews. Of course Hashem. Hashem is behind the whole thing. Hashem is playing with the puppets, right? But who's in the head of the pyramid? It's the Jews. It's Schumer, which is the highest ranking person in America. He's the one that calls the shots. It's Blinken, a Jew, that's calling the shots. Who's the head of the press that's in charge of the opinion of forming the opinion of the public? That's the Post, the New York Post, and so on and so forth. It's completely Jewish. All these Jews are anti-Jewish. ומי יודע אם לעת כזאת הגעת למלכות. They came maybe just for that, to save the Jews, maybe for that. They don't understand it. That completely בער לא יבין עיניים להם ולא יראו. That's what it is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu plays the same game every generation. We see it right now unfolding in front of us. Exactly the same thing. One doesn't see that it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu behind the whole scene. Is exactly like Achashverosh. Uberishato mitchilato ועד סופו. He's completely blind. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's doing the whole thing. And there's so many more things that over here you can see. But that is what they say. That הקורא את המגילה למפרע. לא יצא ידי כבוד. If you think that happened back then, we're celebrating back then, you're wrong. Because the Chag of Purim is so happy because it's every generation, and every generation HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyodam, he saves us from their hands.